now, you live here again. Is there anything, and maybe even before when you moved away, is there anything that you dislike the most about Minnesota?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about things you love.
Mm-hmm.
We prepared for this question.
I know, now it's like fell out of
Don't
my
be
head.
bashful.
What do I dislike? I mean, there's definitely things I dislike.
I'll go first.
You go first.
All right.
Yeah.
I find sometimes the pace here can be a little bit slow, a bit of a business person. And the number of times I've had to jump on a Zoom call late because I'm like, oh, it just took me 12 minutes to pay for my meal because I attempted to flag down the person to pay or person checking out in front of me just chatted with this other person for too long. So maybe it's the other side of Minnesota nice is it eats up a ton of time. That's few and far between, and I'd much rather people be nice. And
as a lifelong Minnesotan, though, there are certain, when you're in a little bit of a hurry and there's a conversation kind of stopping in front of you, it can be very like, oh, this is
just want to pay for my stuff and leave.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I am not a Minnesota goodbyer.
Yeah.
Despite having grown up here, like I'm an Irish goodbyer. Like I want to just disappear. Like I don't want to go through the whole like to the door, to the hallway, down the stairs, out to the street, roll down the window, down the driveway, like go.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so it's like
I'm with you, by the way. Yeah, I don't like that, but it is a thing.
Yeah,
it definitely is a thing.
I also don't like people in giant trucks who don't need giant trucks, who also drive like maniacs because they have a giant truck.
Yeah.
It's like, just because it's snowing and you have a giant truck doesn't mean that you can go fast. But that's just me.
That's a real thing. Mm-hmm. Certain parts of town, you're from Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
Diverdure. Yeah.
I think of Blaine as maybe big truck capital of Minnesota.
If I had a nickel, all the times I've heard Paul and Jesse complain about Blaine driving.
We used to have a cabin that we were working on in Mora.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it was like 60, and so he always went through Blaine on Highway 65.
Yeah.
And there would be a crazy driver and we'd go, we in Blaine? Or, I don't know why. And it pretty consistently, we'd be like, yep, it's Blaine, or just outside of Blaine, but
Yeah.
fascinating. A fascinating cultural element.
It's an interesting place.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there? We already kind of said that. I guess at the end of it, are you very glad you're here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has been great to be back. I commute down to Texas for my job. So does my CEO. He comes in from Silicon Valley in California. And one night we went out to dinner and he said, Lauren, it's like, you're from Austin originally, right? And you've been making all these trips down here. Have you thought about coming back? It sure would be more efficient without having to jump on a plane all the time. And dutifully, I'm like, well, yes, sir, I've thought about it. And like, if it was really important, I could probably, go back and make that case back at home. He stopped me and he's like, hey man, isn't life expectancy just vastly better up in Minnesota compared to here? Aren't educational outcomes vastly better? Isn't like the quality of life score vastly better? And he's like, I'm just going to deduct 2 IQ points from everything you recommend to me in the future because you even considered leaving Minneapolis. So
that's funny.
I think we found it to have all of that.
Yeah.
One other pro that I didn't mention earlier, I had missed some of the art and cultural resources that are here. You tend to undervalue those when you go away, but having the Guthrie Theater and the Minnesota Orchestra and the Minneapolis Institute of Art and all of the great museums and resources has been fantastic. You get some of that. Obviously, there's great versions of that in New York and Chicago and other places around the country, but Minneapolis punches above its weight in that.
Proper like strongholds of those things.
Yeah.
Right. They're not just small elements, you know, they're like, oh, world class, a lot of them, you know? Yeah. Orchestra does come to, you know, as you said that, I'm like, yeah.
They're well funded and they're stable and they seem to have both good corporate and community support. And
Totally.
It's good.
Yeah.
Asset for the community.
And I think Minnesota gets dragged for its winters, but I used to call Texas summer reverse winter.
Yes.
Because it's 115 degrees out. You can't be outside between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when are your kids off school?
Yeah.
In the summer? Like,
I've been talking about this quite a bit.
Well, everybody that we I don't know if it was on mic or off mic, but yeah, we've been helping so many people from Texas that is always gets brought up.
Yeah, and like Arizona, and I'm like, you know, when people are worried about the winter, I often think about like I had summer break from school in like the best months of the year. Like it was incredible, and I can't imagine it being in Texas summer.
no. And when it was the nicest there, the sun wasn't out as long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we
there's
couldn't
something.
go camping.
Yeah, the cycle kind of it at least it maybe it's because it's what I'm used to, but the fact that like it gets cold and dark at the same time, it like creates this sort of like expansion and kind of retraction like lifestyle. Where you go, okay, it's winter, and this is how we do winter, and then when summer's out, it's like you exhaust as much of that time, you know, as you can. Because, it's sunny till 9 p.m. on the best days, you know.
I just call winter's the cozy season.
Yeah.
You light the candles, you put the music on, you know, it's what you make it.
Yeah,
Totally. Yeah. It's got its own vibe. Some people really love it.